Hello again, Tom Lundquist at Bluebird Forge, and today I want to talk about cutting. We're all going to have to cut steel sooner or later in just about every project that we do, and there are several ways that you can cut. You can use a torch if you've got one, but that leaves a ragged edge. You can use an angle grinder equipped with a cutting disc, and this cutting disc is very thin and makes a pretty accurate cut once you learn how to control it. You can use a hacksaw like this one here. In this case, you'll want to put the stock in a vise to hold it still, and you will want to hold the saw in both hands and cut on the forward stroke. Then you lift the saw out of the cut and bring it back and put it back in the curve and push another forward stroke. If you go back and forth like this, you're going to dull the teeth of the saw and it won't last nearly as long per blade. One of the older methods and traditional methods of cutting is with a cut-off hardie, such as this one here. It's just a narrow cutting edge, then it's got a square shank on it so that it fits in the anvil. If you don't have a hardie, you can use a chisel. This is a handled chisel that my brother made back in the 1970s, and you can see that it just looks like a chisel, but it has a handle so that you can get your hands out of the way and you won't have to flinch if you're a little unsure of your hammering ability. Or you can use a handheld chisel like this one here. This is one that I made in the fairly recent past, and I'll have another video soon about how to make a chisel and use it. But for now, we're talking about cutting, so let's get to it. If you're going to use the hardie, first thing you do is put it in the anvil, then place the steel on top of the hardie. Make sure you've got it oriented at right angles to the cutting edge. Strike one blow at a time, making sure that you line up the new position with the previous cut until you've gone all the way around the bar. Once you cut all the way nearly to the center of the bar, you will find that the piece is just hanging on by a thread. At this point, you can bend it either in the Pritchell hole or over the edge of the anvil until it breaks off. This leaves you with a pretty clean cut. There's just a little bit to clean up on the end there. Jump it on the anvil like this, and you end up with a nice clean cut. Cut with a chisel, put the work on the anvil, place the chisel where you want to make the cut, and strike a light blow with your hammer. Then rotate the bar stock just a little, strike another blow, and continue on around until you have a shallow cut all the way around the bar. Making sure that you keep it lined up. Once you have your cut all the way around, then you just make it deeper towards the middle. break it off as we did with the hardie cut. If you don't have a chisel with a handle on it like the one I was just using, you can make a simple chisel like this from a piece of coil spring or other high carbon steel. And we'll go through that in another video soon to come. So that pretty much covers cutting. And if this has been a useful video to you, maybe you can share it with somebody that you think would use it, and you might consider subscribing. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.